May I please have everyone's attention? Before the meeting begins, we ask that everyone please silence your cell phones. The Fort Bend ISD Board of Trustee meeting is an open meeting for the public to observe the board conducting district business. Therefore, patrons may only address the board during the designated audience item section on the agenda. If you have printed materials you want to give to board members, you must provide them to me or any officer present, and we will provide them to the board. We also ask that members of the audience be respectful of others by remaining quiet so that everyone is able to hear the proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, officer. The time right now is 10:01 a.m., and this meeting is hereby called to order. We have the presence of a quorum attending in person. Notice of this meeting has been posted online and at the Fort Bend ISD Administration Building for at least 72 hours. The first item on the agenda is public comment. I'm losing my voice, so I'm gonna ask Dr. Gilliam to read this. And do we have any speakers today? Do we have any speakers? Oh, just one, she's coming, okay. Can you read this? Thank you, Dr. Gilliam.
The board encourages and welcomes comments and input from our patrons. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes, and please refrain from mentioning a student or employee's name when voicing a concern or complaint, as board policy provides alternative procedures through the grievance process policies GF local or DGBA local to seek resolution to complaints. I will read the name of the person registered to speak and share that they have 3 minutes to make their comments. Once the speaker starts their comments, the board secretary, David Hamilton, will announce when they have 30 seconds remaining. Once the 3-minute time limit has expired and whether the speaker has concluded their comments, David Hamilton will announce that the speaker's time has elapsed. I then ask that you return to your seat. In our first.
I think the speaker is coming. Oh.
Okay, hello? Can you hear me? Okay.
Greetings. Let me just repeat. Okay. Once the speaker starts their comments, the board secretary, David Hamilton, will announce when they have 30 seconds. So you will have 3 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Can you please state your name?
My name is Carrie Bronson. Okay, I'm really nervous. Sorry. I'm going to go through a list of rhetorical questions, essentially. How and when did all the board members have an opportunity to interview the lone finalist? How will that person work with the divided board? Will there be a proper background check? And will the mandated 21-day period take place before the person's official hire date? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you for coming today. Thank you. Do we have another speaker? I don't see any other speakers. Now the board will convene in closed session. Dr. Gilliam, can you read the section about closed session? Thank you.
We will now convene in closed session under Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, under the following sections. Section 551.071, for the purpose of a private consultation with the board's attorney on any or all subjects or matters authorized by law. Section 551.072, consider purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. Section 551.074, personnel matters. Section 551.076, security matters. Section 551.082, student discipline matter or complaint, or Section 551.0821, personally identifiable information about public school student. The time is 10:06 a.m., and we are now convened in closed session.
The time is now 11:21 a.m., and we are now reconvened in open session. Do I have a motion from closed session?
Madam President, I move the Board of Trustees name Dr. Mark Smith as the lone finalist for the position of Superintendent of Schools.
I second.
We have a motion made by Mr. Hamilton, second by Ms. Hannon. Do we have a discussion? Ms. Sanya.
I have a discussion? Okay. Well, I am very, very excited to have Dr. Mark Smith coming aboard, and Mark is among the top superintendents in the state, if not the top superintendent in the state. We could not be happier that we were able to persuade him to return to Fort Bend ISD. We know Mark. We pursued him in our last superintendent search, but the timing wasn't right. And we are fortunate that he can come and join us right now. He has a history with our district and roots in our community, and we like to think that Mark is coming home to where he belongs. And so for those of you who do not know Mark's history with our district, he served in Fort Bend ISD as the executive principal within 2006 and 2007, and then assistant superintendent from 2007 to 2012. He left the district to become the superintendent of Marshall ISD and then Duncanville ISD, where he demonstrated exceptional leadership, including being named the Region 10 Superintendent of the Year. And so Mark is a special person. He's a man of faith and high integrity. And Mark, from just having conversation with Mark is sensitive to and understand the unique challenges confronted by a diverse school district like ours. And so Mark has a heart for people and a reputation for building unity. And so to learn more about Mark and his many accomplishments, we will post his resume. But I wanted to let you know that how excited we are about the district's future under Dr. Smith's leadership. And we look forward to working with him on his entry plan and our shared goal of making Fort Bend ISD a top district in the state. We are grateful to Beth. And Beth, I just love you. And when we asked Beth to serve as the acting superintendent, she agreed and told us she had no interest in becoming the superintendent. Beth worked very hard to keep the district moving forward while we worked to bring Mark to the district. We are grateful for your service, professionalism, and commitment to our district and the Fort Bend ISD community. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Ms. Malone, would you like to say a few words?
You can go ahead. I'll wait.
Okay. Dr. Gillian?
I'll wait.
You'll wait? Okay. Do we have anyone over here want to say something? Oh, Mr. Hamilton.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Dr. Smith, thank you for your willingness and eagerness to come home to Houston and home to Fort Bend ISD, and for stepping up to lead our school district in these challenging times. I genuinely believe that you are the right person to lead the district forward in this time. To the Fort Bend ISD community, Dr. Smith is a leader and a competitor. He played football at Texas Southern University, if you didn't know that. He leads by listening, which is a great quality to have. His results speak for themselves here in Fort Bend ISD, as well as in Marshall ISD and Duncanville ISD. The ways the communities in each of those districts went to great measures to persuade him to stay speaks volumes about Dr. Smith, his leadership qualities, and his character. Dr. Smith, welcome home.
Thank you.
Ms. Hannon.
So I just have a very brief comment for Dr. Smith. I do thank him for coming to Fort Bend ISD, or I should say coming back to Fort Bend ISD. And I look forward as a single board member, but more so as a team with my colleagues to work with you, to keep our kids in focus and to move on and continue building this school district, making it even better and better every day. Look forward to visiting with your wife, Tina. And again, I really thank you, Dr. Smith, for being here with us and coming back to Fort Bend ISD.
Thank you, Ms. Hannon. Mr. Garcia.
Thank you, President Day. Dr. Smith, I'm very excited. Had some wonderful conversations with you, and I look forward to your leadership, your guidance. You have my full support, and I just want you to know that, at the end of the day, this district is definitely unique, and it's diverse as it is. I feel that, you are the right person to lead this ship, to get us back on track. We were doing some pretty good things before, but we're going to do some great things, even more great things moving forward, and I'm very excited. So welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Dr. Gilliam.
Thank you. Congratulations, Dr. Smith. And I'm going to read just a little bit. A lot of times, folks, our community would like to know a little bit more about the candidate, so I'd like to share this. Dr. Smith started his career as a classroom teacher and coach before advancing into campus and district leadership. He has served in public education for over 30 years, nearly 12 of those years serving as superintendent in Duncanville ISD and Marshall ISD. He has received numerous recognitions and accolades for his exceptional leadership in this role. Most honorably, in 2020, he was selected as the Region 10 Superintendent of the Year, followed by the Board of Trustees being recognized as a top 5 state honor board in 2021. And Dr. Smith and I know we go back from the time that he was here in Fort Bend ISD. He was always very kind. He's a listener, and at the same time, things will happen. Things will happen, and we appreciate, meaning that things will happen under your leadership. And I appreciate, I've got to look you straight in the face, I appreciate you even open to coming to Fort Bend ISD at this time. So thank you. We're looking forward to your leadership. And there was just a conversation that I had, and the conversation was very uplifting. And I appreciate your time and how you've already shown a couple of us today that you will take the time to explain and to make sure that you are understanding the question that is being posed and understanding that understanding and knowing how to work with the Board of Trustees at our caliber, right? Because we know each other, but we don't know each other that well. And that's what we have to get along and make sure that we are doing what is right for our community, and especially for our 80,000 students and their parents. But again, thank you so much for allowing us to choose you. Thank you for choosing us. Thank you, Dr. Smith.
Thank you, Dr. Gilliam. Ms. Malone.
Thank you. So I have a few questions first. And I want to express very clearly that these questions have absolutely nothing to do with the candidate at hand and Mr. Mark Smith. So my first question is, what was the selection and evaluation process? Ms. Day, that would be to you. Can you please share what the selection and evaluation?
Point of order. Is this germane to the agenda item, Mr. Brush?
Absolutely.
Discussing the appointment and process is germane.
Ms. Malone, I will refer this question. I think if you're asking if there's any legal concerns, I will refer this question to our legal counsel.
It's not a legal concern. It's what was the selection and the evaluation process. That's it. And let me elaborate. So last time we did this, I was part of it in 2021. It was a 3-month process. where we went through candidates and interviews, and it was a process, an extenuating process or extensive process. So I'm just curious if you could share for myself and the public, because I wasn't a part of the process until 10:30 this morning. What was the process? That's it, just the selection and evaluation process, please.
The only comment I will make, Ms. Malone, is you were part of the process in 2021.
I'm referring to 2023 today. Did we not have an evaluation and selection process? That's it. And I think it's a fair question.
I'm going to follow up with Ms. Hannon's question and comment. You were part of this process. If you choose not to participate, that's really your own personal choice. The rest of the board, we were working together and we went through the process. But if you choose not to be part of the process, I mean, this is a volunteer position. So everyone really you can make your own decision.
Okay, can you share with me when the board fully participated in that process? Because I checked all emails and accounts and looked back and I didn't see any invitations for a review of superintendency or interview. And, maybe you know the answer. When did these interviews take place? I'm going to let y'all know I interviewed today at 10:30 a.m. And I'm glad I did.
Mr. Brush, I'm not so sure because some of those discussions happened in closed session. In order to answer the question, I may have to address.
Disclose closed session discussions and recall the personnel discussions are allowed to occur in closed session.
Well, so all I can see is Ms. Malone, those discussions happened in closed session.
All right, so then I'll speak just a little bit. So first of all, today, on Tuesday, I received notice and a little calendar thing came up for us, the Lone Star finalist. So, okay, that's interesting. Friday at 10 a.m. I'm supposed to be out of town right now with my family, and I'm not. I sent my kids on with their grandparents, but I'm going to be flying out later this evening because I genuinely believe that the duties of the trustee and the first and foremost priority is the superintendency, and that is that doggone important. Regarding the closed sessions that they keep alluding to, I want to be extremely crystal clear. I have attended every closed session aside from Monday, December 11th, the second one, and that was because the first one was extraordinarily contentious, finished business at hand. And after the business at hand, I asked if there was any other agenda item, and there wasn't. And I was not going to position myself to be in such a hostile environment again. On the second one, I asked again, what is the business item? Did not receive any information about a business item, and I'm here to do business. I am not here to be attacked, frankly. So I'm going to move on from that and ask one more question, and that is, actually not one more. How many candidates were there? I guess who's the appropriate party to direct any questions regarding this process? Do we have one?
Ms. Malone, based on my understanding, none of us on the dais has an obligation to answer your question on the dais. You can address your questions through email, and we'll answer your question. And that's not the reason we're here.
Okay, so I did address all of my questions via email, so let's be clear about that as well. And that's why I'm now asking in public, because I didn't get the answers that I asked. Specifically, at 10:13 this morning, I finally received the resume of our Lone Star finalist that's updated with current information. So I'm just going to go on for just a few minutes, and then I'll tell you thoughts on that. So I really appreciate everybody being here. I know that this is a crucial decision for over 80,000 kids and 12,000 employees. That I stand before you with a sense of responsibility and duty and a heavy, heavy heart. I believe in the democratic process. I believe in transparency and access to information. And I think it's the bedrock upon which decisions are made up here. And it made it extraordinarily difficult to be prepared and to make any decision without having that information prior to this morning. I found myself in a predicament because I think informed decisions are imperative to our roles as trustees. So, with that said, I do not appreciate the how this board has handled this situation, but I want to express something else. Mr. Mark Smith, thank you for your time this morning. I had been asking for the resume, I had been asking about interviews, and I had not been privy to that information. The only closed session I missed was Monday night, the second one, while we were waiting for Dr. Whitbeck's, send-off, if you will. You are a fine gentleman. And through the questions, I asked you about community engagement. I asked you about special education, academics. I asked you about your vision. And sir, I want to tell you that I will stand behind you, that I will support you, and that regardless of, and I mentioned this to you, how you got here is one thing. And although I don't like the how it happened, I am trusting and having faith in God that you are the correct person for this job and that you will lead our district forward. And so I will tell you, welcome back.
Thank you, Ms. Malone. Ms. Martinez, would you like to make a few remarks?
Thank you, Ms. Day. Dr. Smith, welcome to Fort Bend. On behalf of our executive team, we stand ready to support you in this transition and to continue to work in a positive way forward for Fort Bend ISD and for our students, parents, and community. We welcome you back, and we're ready to support you and to move forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Before I start making my statement, I wanted to say every single board member on this dais were given opportunities to have a conversation with Dr. Smith. Again, it's personal choice if you decide to do it or not, because there's no obligation, because we're all here as a volunteer. That is all I wanted to make, but because today is the day for Dr. Smith, and let's make it the day for Dr. Smith. So I wanted to say the first time I met Dr. Smith was a couple of months after I was elected on the board. During that time, it's still COVID time, and I met during the Zoom call and also in person. And fast forward, I had multiple conversations with Dr. Smith recently. And I have to say what impressed me the most is Dr. Smith never mentioned, not even once, anything concerning himself. Our conversations always focus on his vision for the district and his excitement about working together as a team. He is full of positivity and very passionate about the district. And our conversations always end with his confidence and the determination to do what is the best for the students, staff, and the community. I am very grateful that Dr. Smith is willing to lead this district. And I am asking our community to please give him the full support he deserves. And thank you all for being here, and thank you, Dr. Smith, to being here. Thank you. Okay. That being said,
Let's vote.
let's vote.
Let's vote. Let's vote.
Motion passes 7-0. Congratulations, Dr. Smith. Dr. Smith, would you like to say a few words, please? Thank you.
Or is it good afternoon? It's almost good afternoon. Madam President and board members, I want to say thank you so much for putting your trust, faith, and confidence in me and selecting me as the lone finalist. As many of you have stated, Fort Bend ISD has played such an instrumental role in my development as a leader and in my journey as being superintendent in a couple of different districts now. And I'm forever indebted for what Fort Bend ISD has done to me. And I'm excited, or done for me, and I'm excited to be able to come back and serve. And the key word is serve. I think leadership is about service. And so I'm excited to be able to come back and serve this community, serve the board, serve the staff. I'm excited to be able to partner with the teachers. Fort Bend is known for having outstanding teachers. And I'm ready to meet them and partner with them to see all the great things that they're doing and just to embrace the challenges that we know are out there. So thank you. I'm looking forward to being here. I'm glad to be back home, and I know that I'm in the right place. So thank you for your trust and faith and confidence.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn.
A second.
Thank you. The time is 11:44. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord. Okay.